Hello and welcome to Treasury Notes, a show dedicated to the latest news and information from the office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue. I'm your host, Gina Joins. As we say goodbye to 2014, today we're taking a look at the achievements of the State Treasurer's Office and the achievements we are going to make in 2015. We're going to talk about how the office is moving forward as we continue to find ways to improve our service to the public. Joining me now is Assistant State Treasurer Josh Stowers to talk more about the year in review for the Treasurer's Office. Josh, thank you for joining me here today, and it really has been a great year, 2014. We've accomplished a lot at the Treasurer's Office, and as I said, we're looking forward to a great year in 2015. But to get started, let's talk about the fact that Treasurer Perdue prides himself on the many successes of this office. Really, let's just talk about the office in general. We handle some $13 billion in revenue and $3.2 billion in investments with the Board of Treasury Investments. That's a responsibility I'm sure you don't take lightly.
Absolutely not. When you're talking about that sum of money and understanding that it's taxpayers' dollars, that yes, it is the operating cash mechanism for state government, the agencies and the authorities, but those are taxpayers' dollars. So we want to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollar, make sure that we invest them wisely and make sure that they are appropriately available for the agencies. And we are proud of that it is S&P does rate it as AAA. So we're proud of the fact that a major rating agency determines the fact that we take care of the state taxpayers' dollars. So yes, we are very proud of it and something that we don't take lightly.
And let's talk about the Board of Treasury Investments. Of course, they do short-term investments for the state. And another great year for the board. Again, we know this is the 8th year to receive an award for our comprehensive annual financial report. Every year we receive that. Tell us how the BTI continues to really make some strides, as you said, with the taxpayers' money.
As you mentioned, we're obviously proud of the way that we invest our dollars. It is in fixed income, very safe investments for the agencies and authorities. But one thing that we do as well that we're proud of is that we have pushed over the $1 billion mark in our CD auctions. We have CD auctions regularly where state banks can bid on our cash that we then lend to them, and we really feel that that's an undervalued a part of our BTI that a lot of people don't realize. Having that mechanism for whether it's a large bank, a mid-sized bank, or a very small community bank, that allows them to access the capital and the cash that they can then lend to the community, for whether it's a small, a first-time home loan that they can give to a member of the community, whether it's a small business startup. We're making readily available that cash that they can do that, which is good for the state, good for the economy, and good for the people of West Virginia, and we believe a good use of the taxpayers' dollars.
Absolutely, a great program that the BTI offers for these local banks. And when we talk about the Board of Treasury Investments, I know the two words that often come to mind are safety and liquidity. Those are two of the pillars that we stand on. Absolutely,
and again, you look at safety, you look at liquidity. We want to make sure that there's it's the cash operations that's needed for the agencies and the authorities of the state, and we want to make sure that that is readily available for them to make sure that the full faith and credit of the state of West Virginia is highly rated, that we pay our bills on time. But safety as well. That's why we only invest in fixed income, very safe investments that are managed well. And that's our mission and that's our goal, and we're very proud of that.
And of course, we're talking about the Board of Treasury Investments, not the IMB, which is a little different, long-term investments there.
Correct.
All right, I want to talk about this because I know Treasurer Perdue is very excited about this. CFO of the Board of Treasury Investments, Carl Shanholzer, recently became a Chartered Financial Analyst, CFA, and that is a pretty big distinction. I'm sure you and I know the Treasurer is very proud of him and the team.
Absolutely. I mean, Carl has worked for the Treasurer's Office for over 18 years. And has been a valued member of the Treasury team for as long as he's been here. But the fact that he is now reached that goal of being a CFA, it's a very arduous process to go through and get it. I mean, it's a multi-piece test that takes months and months, if not years, of preparation for. And the fact that there's only 25 in the state of West Virginia and we have one in the Treasurer's office with Carl that we're proud of, and the state of West Virginia should be proud of, and be secure in the fact that you have someone of his ability watching over your state taxpayers' dollars. So yes, we're very proud of Carl, as he's been a leader in the Treasurer's office, and I'm sure will continue to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to him on receiving that achievement. One of the big tasks in 2014 was bringing many of the state's banking functions online with the new WVOASIS computer system, and I know you have been involved in that somewhat. How has everything been moving forward? I know we hit a couple milestones with that because it's been a long process. There have been many years to getting to this point, and we still have some things ahead.
Sure. OASIS is, West Virginia OASIS is an ERP system, and it's revamping basically all the technology in West Virginia. It's been a phased-in approach, and right now we just finished up this fall phasing in Phase C, which was the core financials, a lot of the procurement, the purchasing pieces that went along with Phase C was rolled out. And right now we're in the process of beginning to roll out Phase D. We haven't rolled it out yet, but we will. It's predicted this year that we're going to roll that out, which will be the state payroll and automating that. So it's running along smoothly. As you can imagine, it is a very complex process when you start dealing with all of these old legacy systems that have been existent, and we're trying to put them all into one system that communicates with all of state government. It's a process, and you work through the obstacles, and you recognize the problems, you find solutions. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a very efficient system that is going to save the taxpayers money in terms of better efficiency within state government.
And this has been such a big project. I know here at Treasury Notes we've devoted entire shows to WVOASIS and the ERP process, but this has really been an undertaking.
Sure. When you look at what all OASIS entails, you're talking about the financial system of the state of West Virginia, procurement, purchasing, human resources, administrative services, and those are multifaceted pieces of state government that, again, we're taking from a number of old legacy computer systems that everyone operates individually that doesn't talk to each other, putting it into one hub that is going to increase efficiency and save the taxpayers money in terms of that efficiency and productivity. So it is a very complex, big, heavy lift. But at the end of the day, we know that it's going to be better for the state, and we're going to push forward, and we're going to make sure that it's as effective as it possibly can be.
And I know moving forward we'll have much more news about WVOASIS because we're still not done yet rolling it out. And as you said, Phase D is slated to be implemented at some point this year. So hopefully we'll hear a lot more good news about WVOASIS. We look forward to that. Other programs within the State Treasurer's Office saw a lot of growth in 2014. West Virginia Retirement Plus has nearly tripled in participants since Treasurer Perdue took over the program. Why do you think this program continues to flourish? And I guess let's back up a little bit and explain to people what West Virginia Retirement Plus is.
Sure. Retirement Plus is a program that's ran out of the State Treasurer's Office that has, right now that we're very proud of, it has $173 million worth of assets, over 15,000 participants. And what it is basically, it's a savings mechanism, a supplemental retirement system whereby public employees, if you're a public employee, whether you work for the state or whether you work for some other sort of political subdivision, a county, a city, whatever it may be, if you're considered a public employee, you have access to the ability of save through our Retirement Plus program. And we feel that it's been so successful because, one, we feel that we do a good job in the Treasurer's Office at financial education with the public, not only with adults but also with children. I know that we're going to talk about later, but we do a good job at getting out there, educating public employees on the importance of savings, that your pension and Social Security may not be enough for you to retire on, so why don't you have some sort of supplemental savings to go along with that, and that's what Retirement Plus is. And we believe that the education that we provide, the ease of access that we allow employees to sign up on the first day that they're hired, and a way that they can go monitor very easily with a website their investments, we feel it's a way that that people like and that they enjoy and they want to save, and we're just providing them that opportunity with Retirement Plus.
And it really is a great opportunity. I mean, just to be able to put dollars away, even if it's just a little bit at a time, and to be able to pull that money, the fact that we get better rates because you have all the state agencies, but you have the counties, the other political subdivisions that also invest in this program. I think it's really a win-win for everyone in that situation.
Sure, if you were to go out as an individual and seek out some sort of supplemental savings, which we we don't begrudge people if that's what they want to do. We just encourage savings all around. However, the way that we're able to pull all of those savings from all these political subdivisions and state employees, the way that we're able to negotiate for fees and those things that would potentially be higher if they went out on their own, we provide them with the Retirement Plus, which is very competitive with any other type of savings program that might be out there. So it's something that if public employees aren't taking advantage of, we'd be more than happy to sit down with them and talk to them about it and hope that they take advantage of.
And you make a great point. We're going to talk about financial literacy a little bit later, but the Treasurer really does promote savings in general, and whether it's through the 457, the Retirement Plus program, or whether it's through college savings, Smart 529, whether you go out and invest with a personal investor, those are all great ways to just start. The message is start saving now. Sure,
that's what we want to get out there to the public. It doesn't matter how you save, but we just want you to start, because if you start today, you're going to learn and you're going to progress and you're going to put money away for the future. And that's the important thing that we want to promote with the people of West Virginia.
And that's a great segue into my next topic, the Smart 529, State's College Savings Plan, of course. It is steadily growing into a plan that has quite a few participants and assets, and I know Treasurer Perdue always talks about the 529. That is really one of his programs that is his baby, because it has grown into such a tremendous program and really nationally recognized.
Sure, you say Smart 529. There's so many things that we can talk about, but when you look at what the 529 really is, we have over 120,000 participants. The program has grown to a $2.2 billion program. That's $2.2 billion that people would not have normally saved, that they are saving now for some sort of college expense, whether that's for their child, a grandchild, a niece, a nephew, whatever it may be. But it's $2.2 billion that has been set aside that we now are able to offer through for college education, but not just college education. We want to make sure that we promote that message that this isn't just about a four-year degree. This is about a vocational school. This is about any type of education that you choose to take after high school. That's what this would be. You would be saving for.
Yeah, absolutely. Great program, and it's really become a model program. Let's just talk about why you think saving for higher education is important. Of course, with your background, a former assistant principal, former educator, saving for higher education has to be one of your top priorities.
Absolutely. You talk about why someone wants to become educated. Why do we want to educate our children? It's so they can go out and be productive members of society. And the way that our workforce is shaped today, over 90% of the jobs out there are going to require at least some sort of additional training after high school. But the good part is over 90% of the jobs don't require a four-year degree. So we want to make sure that we promote the message that you need to look to something that you're going to do after high school. You need to start thinking about what you're going to do, but you also need to start thinking about how you're going to pay for it, because education is not free. Whether you choose to go to a four-year institution or a vocational school or community college, it's going to cost you something. And every penny that you put away prior to that time that you enroll after high school is going to be a penny that you do not have to pay up front when you start. We start talking about the economic freedom, the additional jobs, the additional dollars that further education benefits individuals. Every time that someone has to take out a college loan or a loan for additional, or whether again for its vocational school or community college, that's $1 they're going to have to pay back at some point, and it's going to be with interest.
Yes.
So you put
That's
$1
the key.
away today, it's not just $1 that you're going to use later on. It's $1 you're not going to have to pay later in interest on those loans for additional education.
And there are a lot of incentives for people to start investing in the Smart 529. I think one of the very best incentives is the When I Grow Up essay contest. We are now we're getting ready to kick off our 8th year for this contest. And it has just grown into such an exciting program, because every year we get to see these students who write these essays to talk about what they want to be when they grow up. And you've seen it. I mean, they're great. These essays are great. These children are thinking about what they want to do when they graduate. They're also thinking about how they're going to pay for it, which is, as you said, the message we are trying to get across. Talk a little bit about how successful this program has been, and just how great it is to see these students participating like they are.
It's one of the favorite things that the Treasurer's Office, it's one of my favorite things to be a part of, because you get to go out there. One, you miss kids when you're not in the school system, but you get to interact with them, but you get to read about what they're thinking. You get to read about what they want to do. And the program has been very successful. We have thousands of students across the state of West Virginia that participate every year. And it is not only successful in the sense that it gets the students start to think about what they want to do, but it gets the parents involved. And that's really where the rubber meets the road in terms of starting to save. That if we can get the students to start thinking about what they want to do, and realize that when they decide what they want to do, what they put on that paper is going to require an education after high school, then it gets the parents to start thinking, how am I going to pay for it? How am I going to make sure that my child isn't saddled with student debt to make sure that their dreams come true, to make sure that they have a job in the future? So that's part of our education program, is not only going out there and having students and parents talk about savings, talk about what they want their child to do when they grow up, or what the child wants to do, but it's a discussion about financial literacy. It's how are we going to pay for this? And they start making those decisions early on, more than likely they're going to figure out a way to make sure that they make it a little bit more affordable for that child in their life to get that education that they want and need.
Talking about financial literacy, Treasurer Perdue has made a lot of progress in getting financial education into the classrooms in West Virginia. Of course, the Net Worth program is the big program there, but also the Get a Life activity. Get a Life, it's a budget simulation where students go around and they learn how to essentially budget for their families. And I think this is a great activity, and it's something you saw firsthand as an educator before you joined the Treasurer's Office. You were out there and you saw this Get a Life program play out in the school system. What's your impression of it?
Yes, we had the Get a Life program come to the middle school where I was an administrator, and it was one of the most relevant things that ever came into the school, in my opinion, in terms of education. When you talk about education, students want to see how this is going to impact their life. When they're told to do a math problem, they're very matter of fact. How is this going to help me in the real world? When you set up the Get a Life program and they actually see how they're going to have to pay for a car, they're going to have to pay for car insurance, they're going to have to pay for a water tank that goes out, or they see what they're going to have to pay in rent, and they realize that when they're given only a certain amount of money in their paycheck that they receive, and they have to pay these bills, they start to realize that they need to start thinking about, one, what they want to do and make sure that they want to be something successful that's going to allow them to afford the lifestyle that they think they have. But they gain a little bit better respect for the people raising them. They gain a little bit idea of what their parents, their grandparents, or whomever they lived with is going through to just get a better perspective on those moneyed items.
And those decisions that you have to make as a family.
Absolutely, and that wow, it does cost a lot when we drive through fast food, and this is why that we can't necessarily have these things when I want them and I want them now. It is like I said, one of the most relevant things that ever came into the schools that I was blessed to be a part of, and it's something that I'm certainly a true believer in making sure that we keep those programs out there because it gets kids thinking.
And of course, the treasurer just doesn't focus on educating students. He also holds numerous conferences to educate adults. But one of the things I want to talk about on this show is the fact that we're planning a cash handling conference for state employees coming up next spring, which is something we've done in the past, but we've done it a couple years ago. This is going to be new and revamped, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity to further education for state employees, especially those who are handling cash here in the state.
Sure. We are planning the cash handling conference for later next spring. And the reason we want to put a renewed focus on this is we understand and there's been a demand for information and training on how to handle cash among state government. And what better office to do it than the Treasurer's office because we handle the cash management of the state. And so agencies, authorities, offices all throughout state government, they all handle cash to some degree. And we just want to make sure that they have, that they're exposed to the training that they need and the policies and the procedures that are in place in state code to make sure that they handle the cash the way that they should. Because at the end of the day, those are taxpayers' dollars. And we want to make sure that that's handled appropriately. And we want to help them as much as we can. Again, it's in high demand. We've had people from other offices and agencies request it. Legislative auditor even came out with a report that it's something that is needed within state government. We want to provide that service to the government employees that are out there that handle cash. And we think that we're the right office to do it, and we hope that we get as many participants that we can come April.
And of course, in the coming weeks, we'll have more information on our website, but we hope that those people who are part of that group, those state cash handlers, take advantage of that opportunity. Right now, we're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll talk more with Assistant Treasurer Stowers about the Unclaimed Property Program and some of the other initiatives here in the Treasurer's office. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We find all kinds of items, and that becomes unclaimed property, and it mounts into millions of dollars. It could be stock, it could be CDs, but it could also be a diamond ring or a gold watch of your dad's. We returned over $50 million to the people of West Virginia. I'm proud of that. You can go on our website, you can look at the names and see if your name's on there or someone that you recognize. We set the standards in the nation in returning unclaimed property.
Welcome back to Treasury Notes. I'm your host, Gina Joins. I'm here with Assistant State Treasurer Josh Stowers. We are taking a look back at the past year and talking about what's to come in year 2015. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us today. Let's turn now to unclaimed property. This is a topic I love to discuss. People always think this program is too good to be true when you tell them about it, but it is true. Let's just tell people a little bit about how the Unclaimed Property Program works.
Essentially, unclaimed property is what it says it is. It's unclaimed property that you as an individual have access to, have rights to. And there's a whole host of different types of unclaimed property that we really don't have time to get into today. But it's essentially money or property that is yours, that for whatever reason you have not claimed, whether you had a insurance policy that you were the beneficiary of that you didn't realize you were the beneficiary of. We have those assets that are out there that we try to make the public aware of, and we set up a system where they can go in, call our office, also can go online and on our website. And make a claim for your unclaimed property if you realize that you have unclaimed property. And again, this property is made available to us through, again, maybe it's an insurance company, maybe it's a bank that you that someone has passed away and has a safety deposit box that no one has claimed that you're the heir to. You know, we have access to a number of different types of unclaimed property. And we have a staff ready and able to make sure that if you have a claim that you can call, that you feel that is your property, and we'll do our best to make sure that we reunite you with what's rightfully yours.
And they're showing the website right now, and I want to talk a little bit about this because going back, as you saw throughout the show, they've been bringing up our wvtreasury.com website. It is newly designed, and it's a brand new website. And one of the great things about the website is really the fact that you're going to be able to go straight to the wvtreasury.com and do searches right away online. You can do it right from the front page, and we're trying to make it easier than ever for people to, first of all, find out if they have unclaimed money. And that's really mostly what unclaimed property is. It's unclaimed monies that just went dormant for some period of time. But also they can go and make their claims online in most cases. Sometimes we'll need to contact you for additional information, but a lot of times they can go online and start the unclaimed process right there. That's a great feature that we have. One of the other things that we had this year, which I thought was really neat, was we gave away some safe deposit box items, which we don't get to do that often. A lot of times those go unclaimed, and they just sit there in a vault for years and years, or they're auctioned off as we do periodically on websites. But this past year, Treasurer Perdue was able to give back, he was able to return safe deposit box items to Nitro Mayor David Casebolt, and that was a great opportunity. They weren't really expensive items, some jewelry and coins, but some sentimental value to those items.
It was, and that's a good way to really expose the public to that. The fact that you have a mayor of a city in West Virginia that you can get a little bit of exposure to that has some unclaimed property, which then allows the community to see the mayor got some unclaimed property. So you're like, maybe I need to go look and see if I have unclaimed property, and it just exposes the program. Again, we want to make sure, like you mentioned about our website, we want to make sure that we reunite people with what's rightfully theirs, that's their property. And again, whether that's a safety deposit box full of items or money, whatever it may be, we want to make sure that we expose people to the program and make sure that they have the opportunity to be reunited with their property.
And of course, we do the inserts at least twice a year in the newspaper. That's always a big crowd pleaser with people. They get those newspaper inserts and they get to look down at those lists. And I often get calls at my office saying, okay, well, you know, I didn't see my name, but I saw my neighbor's name, and I saw my friend's name, and I saw someone else's name. So that's also, I'm sure you get the same calls.
Sure. More often than not, if you don't find your name, you're going to find someone's name that you know, and you're going to call them and say, hey, I saw your name in the unclaimed property bulletin. You might want to call the treasurer's office. And don't forget that even if you've had a claim within the treasurer's office before, there may be more unclaimed property out there for you. So you want to make sure that you look in there again, because your name may be in there again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're already out of time. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And we appreciate you being here on Treasury Notes. Assistant Treasurer Josh Stowers.
Thank you.
Again, that's all the time we have. Remember, you can always get the latest news and information from the State Treasurer's Office. Follow us on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and of course, our brand new website. Keeping you informed on the Library Television Network, I'm Gina Joins with the Office of West Virginia State Treasurer John Perdue.